Now at 9, why the Joplin School Board opposes a state bill aimed at increasing teacher pay and changing school funding. Plus, the Oklahoma Department of Transportation provides an update on efforts to clear up a logjam on the Neosho River. And it's National Foster Care Month. We'll hear how a Joplin organization is making the system easier on kids.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Joplin School Board members are urging Missouri Governor Mike Parson to veto a bill that would raise teachers' salaries and change how state aid to schools is calculated. The Missouri House passed the bill with a vote of 82 to 69, the bare minimum needed for approval. Supporters of the bill saying it's good for schools and teachers. However, members of the Joplin School Board believe otherwise.
Whittling away at the foundation formula, if you start whittling away at transportation funding, that money has to come from somewhere because those services still have to continue. So as the state decreases their contribution to our district, as we will have to increase our local contribution.
The bill is headed to Governor Mike Parson for final say. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a much calmer day for us today after showers, thunderstorms, severe weather once again on Tuesday night. But today looked pretty good. 82 for a high, started at 59 above our average high, almost 10 degrees above, all the way up to about 73 degrees in temperature. Still look pretty good. We're slowly going to drop back over the next several hours. Kind of breezy today. It's going to stay a little breezy tonight, a little breezy for us tomorrow. But all the big time severe weather today is out across central western Kansas. Won't be affecting us. We may get a few stray guys in here later on tonight, but in general, we're pretty quiet. Now, thunderstorms start to pick up mid to late morning. So 70 by 11, drop back to about 65. Thunderstorms increasing as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. So we're going to be talking more about that coming up here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. 2 Ottawa County, Oklahoma jail inmates are sentenced for setting a fire inside the jail. Court documents say it happened on December 23rd. Authorities say 30-year-old Justin Gehring and 23-year-old Tyler Tavis set the fire inside the jail. Both pleaded guilty to damage by fire of property owned by an institution receiving federal funding. Both are sentenced to 5 years in prison and 1 year of supervised release. The Oklahoma Department of Transportation says it is monitoring a logjam on the Neosho River at Twin Bridges State Park, but is not closing the bridge just yet. A news release from ODOT, the Highway 60 bridge, can withstand a building of drift much longer than the current logjam and found it is not structurally in danger. They say they're working with the GRDA and the BNSF Railroad to come up with a plan to remedy the jam, but must wait until water levels subside. Southeast Kansas County, with the highest number of county-maintained roadway miles, is also operating on one of the smallest budgets. Cherokee County's road and bridge budget for 2024 is $3.6 million. Now, those are funds set aside to maintain 1,300 miles and 234 bridges. Ever wonder why some roads are labeled as county roads and others as state highways? It mostly has to do with who pays to maintain them. 301 of Cherokee County's 1,300 miles are currently paved. The busiest county road is Old 96. Now, recent bridge inspection reports show more than 2,500 vehicles travel the Kansas portion of that road every day. But you notice when you cross into Missouri, it's no longer a county road.
One given to us by KDOT, but before me, we're getting ready to get old 166, where they're doing the new one east of Baxter. So the old part of that, I can't remember how many miles are in it, 4 or 5 miles, are going to be county maintained after they pull out of there.
According to the National Bridge Inventory, Kansas has more than 4,900 bridges in need of repair. Missouri has identified needed repairs on just over 4,500 bridges. Now, later in the show, I'm going to sit down with county officials in both states to see where they stand. Well, May is National Foster Care Month, and Joplin Foster Adopt Connect aims at keeping kids out of foster care and supporting foster families. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has more.
Being able to help them find a voice, help those young people find a course, chart a course into adulthood. Yeah, that was some of the most meaningful years of my life.
The important years in Tom's first life happened when he and his wife decided to become a foster family after their first daughter was born.
We had the conversation about how do we parent, how do we raise this child to be giving and loving and kind and generous and all of the things that you want your children to be. And we decided that we would open our home.
They opened not only their house, but also their hearts to more than 20 kids and teenagers. Their love ended up becoming 2 adoptions and a job. Fur now dedicates his career to making kids in foster care and foster families' lives better.
Now, when we think about taking on additional children in our home, there's a lot of burdens that come with that. Obviously, financial is the first one that always comes to mind. There's an additional cost associated with housing and feeding and supporting that child. And so we exist to provide some resources like that.
Clothes donation is just one of the initiatives provided by Foster Adopt Connect in Joplin. They also open opportunities and expand their services to families in 9 different counties in the area.
While definitely foster children are top of mind, there are a lot of services available to families regardless of situation.
Behavioral intervention, advocacy, and fostering prevention are some of the programs offered by the organization.
We come to work, but a lot of what we do doesn't really feel like work because we're coming in alongside families in challenging times, and we get to help them along the way and see them on the other side a lot of times, in a whole different light, and it's a really cool thing.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
According to the organization, Jasper County has almost 400 kids in foster care. Foster Adopt Connect supports not only foster families, but also other members of the community. For more information on how to help and their upcoming events, go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Well, today, Roper Kia in Joplin presented a check to the Children's Center for $9,000. The event marks the end of Child Abuse Awareness Month, and every year the dealership partners with the Children's Center who work directly with victims of abuse.
We see kids who have been physically and sexually abused, and so many times this is a comfort item to help them process and get through their trauma. And so, these toys, even though they may seem just like any other toy, they really mean something special to the kids that come through our center.
The event also featured a toy drive and a drawing to win a car service package. Roper Kia has hosted this event for 11 years. High school students in Carthage got to show off their hard work today at the Project Lead the Way Senior Showcase. The event is a celebration of the designs and innovations of engineering and biomedical students. The students were able to showcase their designs with a model, prototype, or schematic, and create a marketing plan to pitch their product to potential investors. Coming up, it's National Mental Health Awareness Month. Health experts offer tips on how parents can better support their children's mental health. When was the last time you thought about your mental health? Fox News' Chris DeMeo takes a closer look at what you and your family can do to promote wellness, plus how social media could be impeding on your happiness.
With May marking National Mental Health Awareness Month, psychologists say it's okay not to be okay, encouraging people to reduce the stigmas surrounding mental health disorders and seek help.
We all have anger, we all have stress.
The National Institute of Mental Health estimates more than 1 in 5 adults are living with a mental illness. This, as data from the National Alliance on Mental Illness reveals, 1 in 6 kids ages 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder every year.
The self-confidence that we can handle difficult situations is something that if we can teach kids and have these experiences for children that they get through difficult times, then as adults, when you're faced with difficult times, you're more likely to be able to cope with it.
Because kids can have a harder time putting their feelings into words.
Taking the amount of time that maybe you spend on social media and applying it to talking to your child can be really helpful.
Meanwhile, a growing number of psychologists recommend parents talk to their kids about how the media they consume can negatively impact their minds.
There's a lot of research that shows that engaging with appearance-focused content is worse for us. So if it's very appearance focused, body focused, etc., those tend to be worse for mental health.
Experts also warn levels of mental health issues like eating disorders and body dysmorphia could worsen as artificial intelligence and filters become more integrated into social media platforms.
The average person can generate images of themselves or use these AI generators to modify how they look, and they don't have to disclose that. And I think it's really going to be tough to navigate because it's inherently really unattainable, right?
Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later we have several local athletes signing to the collegiate level today. We're going to see who's going where.
Well, it definitely turned out to be at least calmer for us today after the showers and thunderstorms we had last night. Some strong to severe storms across the region. Still had some showers and thunderstorms in the early morning hours, so we got about 1/4 of an inch at the Joplin Airport. But besides that, we've looked pretty good since that point in time. And with all the rain that we have seen, we're still a little bit below normal, which is kind of crazy across the region. All right, going outside. Not too much going on for us right now. We had a few isolated little thunder showers earlier this evening, but overall it looks pretty good. All the big time severe weather, kind of western Kansas. You can see the supercells down through the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. Some of this is going to head toward us late tonight so we could get an isolated storm, but really we're going to stay pretty quiet until we get into the daytime hours tomorrow. Here's our trough, or our next system that will affect us on Thursday, and then they're kind of lining up right behind it. So our rain chances start to go up tomorrow morning, highest early afternoon, then slowly taper as we get into Friday. So let's zoom in, let's look at it. Pretty calm tonight, not a whole bunch going on. As we go through the morning hours, we start to get scattered showers, a random thunderstorm popping up. Here's 9:30 in the morning. Increasing toward the noon hour, but notice the location, mainly along and north of I-44. This batch is going to roll east, and then additional ones will fill in behind it along the cold front. These are going to be guys that could be a little bit stronger to low-grade severe. Main threat, gusty winds and hail. Sticking around throughout the evening hours, and then it's slowly dissipating, especially after 10 or 11 p.m. tomorrow night. Should be gone by the time we get into Friday morning. Then Friday is shaping up pretty good, breezy, but temperatures back into the mid to upper 70s for highs. So tomorrow, severe threat is low, but we do have a low severe threat. It's a level 1 out of 5. Again, the main threat would be gusty winds and some hail. Rainfall wise, the areas that have seen the heaviest rain is going to get the rain again. A lot of areas could pick up maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches, and then the farther south you work, lesser amounts. Even our southern counties may not pick up anything at all. So thunderstorms increasing throughout the day, high temp of 76 degrees, and then we clear out by Friday. Let's go into the weekend. Here's our next wave. Showers, thunderstorms Saturday morning, should be out early afternoon due to the timing of the day. Not expecting these to be severe. Showers and thunderstorms mainly in our southern counties on Sunday. Again, non-severe, but I do see another severe weather chance putting tomorrow aside. Early next week, Monday and Tuesday, we're going to have at least a decent threat for some severe weather. All right, so 76 Thursday, 78 on Friday, 74 with those showers on Saturday, 73 on Sunday. Thunderstorms again, Monday and Tuesday with a severe threat, and then again some showers and thunderstorms with a severe threat again next Thursday and Friday.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, important news for borrowers.
The Federal Reserve makes a decision on interest rates. I'm Connor Hansen in New York with what this could mean for Americans and their wallets coming up.
All eyes were on Fed Chairman Jerome Powell today, waiting to see when interest rates might be lowered. A move could come slower than was expected. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more from New York.
But inflation is still too high. Further progress in bringing it down is not assured, and the path forward is uncertain.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says interest rates will stay the same for now. Americans have been hopeful rate cuts would soon translate into lower borrowing rates for mortgages, car loans, and credit cards but economists say inflation has been too stubborn and say rates could stay put through the end of the year.
Well, the big story really on the economy has just been resilience. Everybody's been expecting a slowdown.
There'll be no rate cuts this year. I'm investing under the premise that we're going to be living with this rate cycle staying the same for the rest of the year. I'm sorry, it's just reality.
Not long ago, traders expected up to 6 rate cuts in 2024. The Fed's rate has sat around 5.3%, a 23-year high since its last hike almost a year ago. But Powell says that hasn't stopped people from shopping.
Consumer spending has been robust over the past several quarters, even as high interest rates have weighed on housing.
Lately, some economists have even expressed concern that rates could go up again before they start to come back down. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Openings have fallen to the lowest level in 3 years. Data released from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows U.S. employers had about 8.5 million available jobs in March. That's less than economists expected. Right now, there are 1.3 jobs for every job seeker. That compares to during the pandemic recovery, when that ratio was around 2 to 1. Up next, officials from more than 40 area school districts gather in Webb City for a celebration of education. More than 400 administrators, teachers, and board members from 41 area schools met up in Webb City today for a celebration of schools. Southwest Center hosted the celebration, which featured awards including the Southwest Center Trailblazer Award, Teachers of the Year, and Making Learning Come Alive awards.
It is a great night. It's a unique opportunity for this area. We have 23 schools coming together, and we're going to celebrate all the great going on in them.
It was 26 years in the making to win Teacher of the Year. It's a huge, prestigious award for our district, and I was very overwhelmed and very grateful and very humbled because I knew the people that I was in the running with.
This is the Southwest Center's 25th year of hosting the celebration. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Cherokee County has 234 county-maintained bridges, including Old 96, which is 90 years old. We're going to hear how the county plans to maintain all of them. Plus, Secretary of State Blinken wraps up a trip to Israel, calling for a ceasefire and a hostage release deal.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. After the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, concerns over the structural integrity of aging bridges moved to the state and local levels. I sat down with county road and bridge superintendents in both states, in Kansas and Missouri, to see where they stand.
We have the most storm water drain off in the entire state in Cherokee County. I believe it has to do with the 2 rivers. We're in the very corner.
Cody Zook is referring to the Neosho and Spring Rivers and all of their creeks and tributaries that call for hundreds of culverts and 234 county-maintained bridges. The Cherokee County Road and Bridge Superintendent says each of those bridges is inspected yearly.
Our department goes on those bridge inspections. Whatever they tell us needs addressed first, those are the ones that get addressed first.
Like replacing the 1935 Brush Creek Bridge on East Country Road just past the Cherokee County Jail.
It had a safety issue. It was misaligned and it was structurally getting unsound.
According to the Kansas National Bridge Inventory, in 2022, inspectors marked 17 of Cherokee County's county-maintained bridges as poor. Inspection records reveal similar numbers for neighboring counties in southeast Kansas, with Bourbon County slightly higher. It has 31 listed in poor condition.
It gets more traffic, so that's how we try to run it.
Zook says his goal is to address one bridge every year, and most of the time it's an 80-20 split, with KDOT paying 80% and the county the rest.
I think they call it Old Swift.
Across the state line in Jasper County, 40 bridges are in need of attention. I met Jasper County Highway Department Superintendent Bob Burris in Surcoxie, where he says engineers are developing a plan to replace the Joplin Street Bridge. In the meantime, he's keeping his crew focused on the 560 miles of road the county maintains.
We have a lot of ag and agricultural activities in Jasper County. We have dairy farms and turkey farms, and those folks still need to come and go and get out of there.
Aside from Mother Nature, Burris says the cost of materials is one of his biggest challenges.
We've gone from approximately $50 a ton for asphalt pre-COVID to now it's $60+ a ton.
Zook says he can relate. He's in charge of maintaining 1,300 miles in his county, 301 that are paved.
I met a guy that had 7 in his county, and I was so jealous because all of ours are failing, and they didn't have a plan, and we're trying to build a plan.
Part of that plan includes maintaining the highest traveled road that the county is responsible for, Old 96, from 69 Highway to the Missouri state line where MoDOT takes over. The Kansas portion of the highway has 4 bridges, including this 90-year-old one. Inspection reports show more than 2,500 vehicles drive over it every day.
I feel that we are right on track to where we need to be. We are in a growing phase, I would say. We have a lot of stuff to do, but if citizens just bear with us, we'll make it through. I'm not a person that believes in higher taxes to get the job done. So.
In 2020, Cherokee County spent $3.6 million maintaining its roads and bridges. $1.75 million went to road and bridge maintenance, while $425,000 was spent on construction costs, including roads and culverts. Well, campus protests against the war in Gaza escalated overnight on both coasts. At UCLA, chaos erupted with counter-protesters attacking a pro-Palestinian encampment. Some launched what appeared to be fireworks into the tents. And in New York City, police cleared out protesters who had taken over a building at Columbia University. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Fox News correspondent Jeff Paul is in Tel Aviv, Israel, with the latest.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Israeli leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Wednesday. It was his latest push for a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas that would free hostages and bring a pause to the nearly 7 months of fighting.
There is a proposal on the table, and as we've said, no delays, no excuses. The time is now, and the time is now long past due to bring the hostages home to their families.
Thank you, Blinken! Thank you, Biden! Blinken also met with families of hostages and told them setting their loved ones free is, quote, at the heart of everything we're trying to do.
He was very fair, I must tell. He told us all the problems that they have as United States, and he spoke with everybody, each, and it was fantastic.
Blinken making his 7th visit to the region since the war between Israel and Hamas broke out in October. The secretary is trying to advance a truce and convince Israel to hold off on carrying out a major ground operation in Rafah until it has a plan to manage the estimated more than 1 million Palestinians there. Palestinian prisoners are also expected to be released as part of the deal. Blinken has said Hamas would bear the blame for any failure to get a deal off the ground. Hamas has yet to respond to the latest deal on the table. However, Secretary of State Antony Blinken has pressured them to accept it, calling Israel's offer extraordinarily generous. In Tel Aviv, Israel, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
Well, a bit later, we'll check out some toys promoting positive messages and emotional health for kids.
Well, it definitely turned out to be at least calmer for us today after the showers and thunderstorms we had last night. Some strong to severe storms across the region. Still had some showers and thunderstorms in the early morning hours, so we got about 1/4 of an inch at the Joplin Airport. But besides that, we've looked pretty good since that point in time. And with all the rain that we have seen, we're still a little bit below normal, which is kind of crazy across the region. All right, going outside. Not too much going on for us right now. We had a few isolated little thunder showers earlier this evening, but overall it looks pretty good. All the big time severe weather kind of western Kansas. You can see the supercells down through the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. Some of this is going to head toward us late tonight so we could get an isolated storm, but really we're going to stay pretty quiet until we get into the daytime hours tomorrow. Here's our trough, or our next system that will affect us on Thursday, and then they're kind of lining up right behind it. So our rain chances Start to go up tomorrow morning, highest early afternoon, then slowly taper as we get into Friday. So let's zoom in, let's look at it. Pretty calm tonight, not a whole bunch going on. As we go through the morning hours, we start to get scattered showers, a random thunderstorm popping up. Here's 9:30 in the morning. Increasing toward the noon hour, but notice the location, mainly along and north of I-44. This batch is going to roll east, and then additional ones will fill in behind it along the cold front. These are going to be guys that could be a little bit stronger to low-grade severe. Main threat, gusty winds and hail. Sticking around throughout the evening hours, and then slowly dissipating, especially after 10 or 11 p.m. tomorrow night. Should be gone by the time we get into Friday morning. Then Friday is shaping up pretty good, breezy, but temperatures back into the mid to upper 70s for highs. So tomorrow, severe threat is low, but we do have a low severe threat. It's a level 1 out of 5. Again, the main threat would be gusty winds and some hail. Rainfall wise, the areas that have seen the heaviest rain is going to get the rain again. A lot of areas could pick up maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches, and then the farther south you work, lesser amounts. Even our southern counties may not pick up anything at all. So thunderstorms increasing throughout the day, high temp of 76 degrees, and then we clear out by Friday. Let's go into the weekend. Here's our next wave. Showers, thunderstorms Saturday morning, should be out early afternoon due to the timing of the day. Not expecting these to be severe. Showers and thunderstorms mainly in our southern counties on Sunday. Again, non-severe, but I do see another severe weather chance putting tomorrow aside. Early next week, Monday and Tuesday, we're going to have at least a decent threat for some severe weather. All right, so 76 Thursday, 78 on Friday, 74 with those showers on Saturday, 73 on Sunday. Thunderstorms again, Monday and Tuesday with a severe threat, and then again some showers and thunderstorms with a severe threat again next Thursday and Friday.
On there that say nice. No thunderstorms. We'll take that. Well, coming up in sports, Missouri Southern softball begins play at the 2024 MIAA tournament this afternoon. Plus, several local athletes signed national letters of intent to compete at the collegiate level. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
As we begin the month of May, several student athletes at Pittsburgh, Joplin, and Girard High School signed national letters of intent today. At Pittsburgh High School this afternoon, 4 Purple Dragons signed to compete at the next level. Avery Harrison and Lisette Allen, both of them signed with Pittsburgh State, where they'll continue their dance career. Austin Hasso signs with Benedictine College for wrestling, and Hannah Brown signs with Iowa Central Community College to wrestle as well.
My journey with wrestling has been really hard. I definitely had moments of giving up, but I stuck with it because I wanted to get better, and I did.
I was really glad I finally got to do this because I've seen a lot of my peers do this, and one of my senior dancers my sophomore year did it, and I was really excited to watch it. I was like, I want to do that someday, and it was really fun to see it happen and do it myself.
Being a leader is very important to me, and I've just tried to be kind to others, be a leader, be someone that everyone looks up to, and I think that I have achieved that, and it makes me really feel very good.
And I'm probably the first person from Pitt to do wrestling at Benedictine. It's a real big opportunity, very excited, but it's not possible without the people that I've had support me, my family, my friends, my coaches. I mean, they kind of made it all possible.
Meanwhile, at Joplin High School, 4 Eagles signed letters of intent. Jet Beal commits to Arkansas Baptist football. Caden Taylor-Wise and Jonathan Williams both signed with William Jewell to play football as well. And Abigail Eckert commits to Southwestern College for track and field.
I definitely got that home feel aspect of it, and then along with the great education and then even better football up there. So I'm really excited for this next chapter.
I enjoy working out now, and just being at the next level will really make working out even more fun.
Initially, I wanted to go to Southwestern because both of my parents went there, so it was always like my top school. And I've taken many visits there, and the feel of community is really strong there. It's a pretty small school, but everyone knows each other, and the relationships with the professors is really special.
Ultimately, I chose to commit to Arkansas Baptist just because it felt like a true family. I'm Baptist myself, so that also kind of persuaded the way. It really showed me what it's like to be able to care for everybody and compete against each other under God.
Then over at Girard High School, Kara Pope signs to wrestle at Baker University in Kansas. She looks forward to furthering both her academic and athletic careers in the next few years.
Their program, it's been around for a couple of years now. They have a really good coach, Kit Harris. He was the Baldwin High School coach for a while, and they won the state title a couple years back. So there's a lot of good foundation there that can help me become an even better wrestler than I am right now.
The MIAA softball tournament begins this afternoon in Edmond, Oklahoma. Now, Pittsburg State gets the day off. That's because of a bye. But the Gorillas are still hungry to make noise in the postseason.
I feel like we're hungry. We still want to win. We have a lot of competitors on this team, and I just think the mindset going into this tournament hasn't changed from the rest of the year. Just wanting to win and fighting every day to win.
We've worked really, really hard, and we set a lot of goals, and we're out there accomplishing them. And so I'm just really proud of the resilience this team has shown and the grit and the fight, and just shattering expectations, and I'm just enjoying the ride.
Missouri Southern softball, meanwhile, the Lions play in the first round this afternoon in the MIAA tournament. 8-9 matchup against Central Missouri. The Lions win that game 3-2. With the win, they advance to the quarterfinals against the #1 seed in the conference, Rogers State, tomorrow. And one team that would be very happy to see the Lions beat Rogers State is who we just heard from, Pitt State. It would make the Gorillas' path to a conference championship a lot easier if Rogers State would get knocked out.
Okay, and that was my next question. Who are they expected to play and win?
Well, Pitt State is playing the winner of the 7-10 game, Missouri Western against Fort Hays State. So they play tomorrow against them.
Okay, all right. We'll be watching that for sure. Well, back with more news after this. In honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, the Toy Insider shares a list of toys that support and teach children resilience, emotional health, and a positive mindset. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the story.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Toy Insider offers a list of mesh toys which support children's emotional and mental well-being.
Mental, emotional, and social health. These are toys and games that really help foster resilience in kids. They teach them to manage their emotions, and sometimes they're there just to provide comfort and nurturing support.
The Bumpa's stuffed animals provide love, hugs, and protection.
Each one is two-sided. This one, as you can see, has two different expressions here, but these have, in addition to the weighted material, they have these arms with weighted hands, and they can hug the child or the adult.
There's plenty of options to help teach kids about self-expression.
This is called Moodles. What's unique about this is it's changing expressions. So each Moodles character has 6 different expressions that kids can use to identify with and then articulate those feelings to the grown-ups around them. We have the Express Your Feelings sensory bottles. Each one has a face that reflects an emotion. So we have excitement here, we've got nervousness here. Kids get to know what these feelings represent and try to identify with them. The folks at Buffalo Games and Chuckle and Roar, they have their sensory sampler. These have different textures, different feels, all different types of colors. These are also things that take kids' minds off of the world around them.
Kids can also learn about nurturing the world with the Caring for Bees and Beehives Lego set.
This is important because kids, we think of nurturing play with dolls and things, but also think about the creatures that are out there in the world. Bees, very endangered right now. So we're teaching kids about pollinators.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, coming up, we're going to meet a man who downed hundreds of cheese balls for a crowd in New York City. How many cheese balls could you eat in a half an hour? Chances are not as many as a man recently did at New York's Union Square Park. Fans wild over the cheese ball eating champ's impressive stunt. Jeannie Moose has more on the cheesy whiz kid.
does the crowd cheer on the Caped Crusader of cheese balls?
Cheese ball man! Cheese ball man! Balls! Balls! Balls!
Cheese Ball Man's goal: to eat 700 balls in just under 30 minutes, washing them down with water. In front of a crowd of hundreds of spectators in New York's Union Square Park. Why cheese balls?
I had one and I was like, this food is quite fantastic.
But this was not so much a food-eating challenge as it was the creation of an absurd and anonymous superhero with cheesy hands.
This was your destiny!
And I had to do it, you know, so many people were counting on me. So despite hurling up in my mouth a little bit, I kept it down and I made the people proud, I think. But if not, sorry.
He had a garbage bag handy in case his stomach rebelled, but he managed to down his 699th cheese ball, and then his 700th. Crowned with a hat like a traffic cone.
Can I shake your hand? Can I shake your cheese hand?
Are you sure?
Please.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Will you run for president?
At 22, he's too young for a presidential run, but his campaign to whip up interest in Cheese Ball Man was impressive.
I went home a hero.
Showered with, what else? Cheese balls. But are you going to stick with the cheese ball theme?
I mean, I have to. Like, what would I be, Pretzel Man? Would I be Asparagus Man? That's ridiculous.
Besieged by autograph seekers, a fan who came from Canada paid homage.
Thank you for being you. I love you, Canada Man. I love you, Cheese Ball Man.
Both corny and cheesy, sealed with a burp. Of course he had to burp at the end. That's amazing. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a baby giraffe at the Houston Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.